This is We Are All Evangelizers, and whatever else is on Deacon Eric's mind. I'm Deacon Eric. What's on my mind today is a joy short-lived. Palm Sunday Mass always begins with a reading of Jesus' joyous entry into Jerusalem, as ushers hand out palms to Mass-goers. Each of the four Gospel writers has a version of this procession, with Luke's version being used today in today's Gospel. What makes it noteworthy in some respects is that it is so short. The fifth season of the TV series The Chosen has just been released in movie theaters, and I recently heard an interview with the actor who plays Jesus in the series, Jonathan Roumie. Although all actors, of course, try to get into character for their roles, Roumie says he really got swept up with joy of the people as he portrayed Jesus riding into Jerusalem, noting he truly experienced what it must have been like for Jesus in the midst of adulation. His huge smile echoed that emotion. This scene in The Chosen also showed the apostles running alongside Jesus, jumping up and down, pumping their fists in the air, and shouting with joy. The celebration was as if Jesus had just won the World Series, the Stanley Cup, and the Super Bowl. In essence, the apostles were saying to those who lined the road, "We're with him. We're his disciples, and we're going to be very important people once he becomes king." The apostles just didn't get it. They thought in terms of themselves as the crowd was cheering triumphantly for Jesus. How often do we live our lives with that same attitude? Us first, Jesus second, and sometimes even lower for some. The gospel accounts vary a bit about what happened at the end of that ride. Matthew and Luke have the immediate cleansing of the temple, as the tables of the money changers and those selling doves were overturned. Mark has Jesus assessing the commerce in the area and then returning the next day to cleanse the temple. And John has Jesus confronting the money changers very early in his gospel account, right after the wedding feast at Cana. But the bottom line is that in each version, Jesus' ride into Jerusalem was only a few miles, and as such his joy was very short-lived before the reality of his Jerusalem visit set in. Though most of us refer to this Sunday as Palm Sunday, many others refer to it as Passion Sunday. Officially, it's known as Palm Sunday of the Lord's Passion. And in real time, we experience the change of the joy of Palm Sunday because 7 or 8 minutes after we hear the account of Jesus' ride into Jerusalem, we get the account of his passion and death. On the way from Galilee to Jerusalem, Jesus preached, knowing full well what arrives at the end of the trip for him. The Father allowed his Son a few moments of joyous human emotion before he entered his passion. 3 days later, the resurrection made possible a permanent joy for us all. This is We Are All Evangelizers. I'm Deacon Eric, and that's what's on my mind today.